So you mean to tell me that the defense held a Russell Wilson-led offense to under 17 points, and they still couldn't get the job done? Under 17 points. By the way, at home, by the way, at Denver. They was at Denver, by the way, and held them to under 17 points. And it still wasn't good enough to get the job done. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic, and today we're going to talk some football, Houston Texans football. Today we're going to talk about the Houston Texans falling. This time they actually failed. No, last week ended in the tie. This time they actually failed. They lose to the Denver Broncos 16-9. It's a lot to talk about. It's a lot to break down. It's a lot to unpack. We're going to break it down before we get in there. Like I've been telling you before, if you're liking the content, man, hey, make sure you liking the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you sharing the channel on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, any type of social media platform you use. Make sure you share these videos in this channel on those same social media platforms. Also, follow me on social media as well. The links in the description below. We're giving away 30 days free Amazon Prime. If you don't have Amazon Prime, you're tripping. You sleep. You're tripping. You ain't got no excuse because the link in the description they give you a free 30 days. You hit that link, you get free 30 days and test us if you want the Amazon Prime so you catch them Thursday night football games. So make sure you hit them links in the description. You follow me on social media. Also message me on social media, especially Instagram. If everybody knows if they message me on Instagram, I message them back. So hey, hit me up on Instagram, but you gotta follow me. Hit the link. Follow me on Instagram. Like I say, like the channel, subscribe to the channel. Let's get this channel growing and growing and growing. I really, really appreciate that. Now, like I said, the Houston Texans fall to the Denver Broncos 16-9. Once again, go into the fourth quarter with a lead. They went to this lead this fourth quarter 9-6, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that was 9-6 going to the fourth quarter, which is not a huge lead. It's only 3 points, but a lead nonetheless. No, last week they win the fourth quarter up 20-3, which is definitely a different ball game, especially being at home. But the defense played well. Let's break it down. Let's talk about what's going on in this game. Quarterback Davis Mills was 19 of 38 for 50% completion percentage, 177 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Was sacked 3 times. They had 2 fumbles, but the Texans able to recover him. He was 63 quarterback rating. Damian Pierce got 15 rushes for 69 yards, averaging 4.6 yards per clip. I mean, which is a good average per attempt. Only got 15 rushes. You weren't able to continue with the run the football. We didn't see any Rex Burkhead from the running game. The Nico Collins led the team with four receptions, 4 receptions and 58 yards. Brandon Cooks had 4 receptions for 54 yards. Farrell Bryan had 3 receptions for 24 yards. Russell Wilson was 14-31 for 45.2 completion percentage, 219 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, was sacked 3 times, and had a quarterback rating of 66.5. Jay Williams had 15 rushes for 75 yards. Cortland Sutton had a game. Targeted 11 times, had 7 catches for 122 yards, no touchdowns. That's pretty much the story of the game when it comes for the Broncos on the offensive side. They targeted Derek Stingley a whole lot. Like last week against the Colts didn't go towards Derek Stingley. This week they made the point when it was one-on-one, Cortland Sutton and Derek Stingley. They went after the rookie. They went after him, and it was some lumps. To be quite honest, it was definitely some lumps. I mean, definitely some learning experience. Welcome to the NFL moment. He got caught a couple times with a couple pass interference calls. But what I did like about Darius Stingley, because they kept on targeting him, he gets back-to-back pass interference calls on the drive, gets into the red zone. They throw a touchdown to Cortland Sutton, but Cortland Sutton didn't get his foot in, so it doesn't get counted. And they go right back to the exact same play. Darius Stingley was right there after giving them 2 pass interference calls. They get him into the red zone and giving them almost would have been a touchdown because that would have been on Derek Stingley if Cortland Sutton was able to come up with that ball. He comes up there and swats the ball. Just a good pass breakup of the play. I like the heart. I like the fight. Derek Stingley never gave up in this game. Even when Cortland Sutton was getting the best of him, and even when the referees was getting calls on him, and Cortland was winning some of these matchups, he never backed down. And it kind of reminded me of the Jalen Ramsey and Hopkins. Jalen Ramsey's rookie year, the game when Brock Osweiler got benched for Tom Savage, the Battle Red game here in Houston. That was the type of game. It went back and forth with a rookie and a Pro Bowl receiver, because Cortland Sutton is a Pro Bowl. Hey, shout out Brim, Texas. My boy Cortland Sutton, Brim, Texas alum. Hey, you don't know what it is, but hometown. But the whole back and forth, because Ramsey got some got a couple pass interference calls on Hopkins, but he also made a couple plays on Hopkins as well. A couple pass breakers. I don't think he got an interception in the game, but it was a back and forth. Obviously, Hopkins ended up winning. The Texans ended up winning the game back then. That was 2016. Same kind of concept. Back and forth between Cortland Sutton and Derek Stingley, but Derek Stingley kept on fighting, even though Cortland got the best of him. And like one time that probably one of the things that Derek Stingley needs to clean up, keeping his eyes looking in the backfield, because he kind of lost the ball on one of Cortland's big passes, a big reception. He kind of lost the ball, and then a big body like Cortland, was 6'4". The big body like Cortland Sutton able to jump up and get the ball, able to high point it, and Cortland is losing. Not Cortland, but Derek Stingley is losing the track of the ball. Kind of gets him a little bit. So, like I say, I'm not concerned. Only a second game. He's a rookie. You're going to take your lumps in the NFL, especially playing that position. But I like the fight. I like the intensity. I like that he never gave up. He never lost confidence. He kept on fighting. I think that Derek Stingley is going to be fine. I think he's going to be fine. If I'm a Denver fan, I'm very concerned because, one, I think that Nathaniel Hackett might be the worst coach in the NFL right now. Like, just all the miscues, the way they were giving up, the way they gave up all the timeouts before you even got to the fourth quarter, the way the way the crowd had to count down the play clock because they lost timeouts, and part of the reason why they lost some of the timeouts because they used timeouts on the play clock. Well, I think it was either 6 or 7 consecutive downs. Plays in the red zone and you can't convert a touchdown for. Like, just if I'm the Broncos, I'm concerned. If I'm a Broncos fan, I'm concerned because you shouldn't have struggled against the Texans in the game that in a game like that. And to me, I think they're definitely the 4th best team in that division. Even though the Raiders, who I picked to go far, it actually ain't been doing me any favors the last 2 weeks. But the Chargers and the Chiefs all look better, in my opinion, than how the Broncos looked the last 2 weeks against Seattle and then against us. So they got some concerns on themselves, but the Texas defense played extremely well because you only held Russell Wilson in that offense. No matter how bad your coaching is, no matter how much it is, still Russell Wilson, a Super Bowl champion, a Pro Bowl, All-Pro type of quarterback, and you hold them to under 17 points, 16 points. Even though I know they lost Jerry Jeudy early, but still you held them to that amount. That's a win for the defense. Now, what y'all here to talk about? This is what y'all here for. I know what I said. I know exactly what I said. Because I said it. So I know exactly what I said. That I was going to be patient. I'm going to be patient. And I'm going to wait until the bye week before I give a full assessment on Davis Mills. I know what I said because I said it. Man, forget all that, man. What I've seen for the last 2 weeks, it's not even concerning because I kind of expected. But for all the people out there that want to talk about Davis Mills, the reason why we lost this game and the reason why we tied last week is because the offense. Because the damn offense. We don't have a quarterback. Like newsflash, Texas fans. We don't have a quarterback. I don't hear all that bull that everybody want to talk about. Oh, he was the second best rookie quarterback of last year's draft. Save all that. Save all that junk. Just save that. No. When you cannot produce points, your defense held them to 16 points. Under 17 points. That defense played too damn good for the Texans not to walk away with a victory. Like, come on, man. You gave 9 points. 9 points. He was sacked twice, gave up 2. He didn't give up any fumbles, but he got sacked twice and lost 2. He didn't lose 2 fumbles like I said. He didn't give them up, but fumbled the ball twice. He fumbled last week, and that was the reason. That was the difference between the game. Like, it comes a point where an offense has to score points. Newsflash. That's how you win football games, is by scoring points. They've only scored 29 points in 2 weeks. That's 14.5 points per game. If it wasn't for the Colts getting shut out, they'd probably be the worst scoring team in the NFL. Now, I said this last year and everybody, because people always want to bring up numbers. And hey, and shout out to my boy Wink, because Wink said this a couple weeks ago. He said this a couple weeks ago that he wished that before they gave up put up all these numbers of deep ball passes and red zone this and all this, all the stuff they put up about Davis Mills, that they waited till some wins got on his belt before they would bring up some of these numbers, because some of these numbers don't really hold water, and you got people out there that take these numbers and want to use them like they hold water, but they really don't hold water because it doesn't equivalent to any wins, because the Texans don't have any wins under their belt. And he said that. But this is something that people always blow on, and I always talked about. This is the one thing that I harped about when it came to Davis Mills, that his scoring drives, I'm not talking about touchdowns, I'm talking about scoring drives, which means a pass touchdown from him, your running back scoring a touchdown, your kicker getting a field goal, whatever. Scoring drives, he only averaged 2 scoring drives per game, which could go anywhere from 6 points to 2 field goals to the most 14 points. He only averaged 2 scoring drives a game. Texans average in the 2 weeks, first 2 weeks of the season, 14.5 points. That's 2 scoring drives a game. That's 2 touchdowns. That's what he's averaging. What I told you he averaged last year, that's what he's averaging now. He's only giving you an equivalent of 2 touchdowns a game. And you think you're going to win something like that? Like, your defense in back-to-back weeks had 20 points and 16 points. You can't get a victory. At home, you were up 20-3 going to the fourth quarter, and he was 0 for 4 in the fourth quarter. 0. I know you fellas know my name, man. He completed 0 passes in the fourth quarter. 0 last week. This week, I don't know how many passing, but he didn't complete. But when it's time, when it's nut cut time, when it's time to actually score, when it's time to actually produce points, he doesn't show up, y'all. Like, he doesn't show up. Now, I know he threw the touchdown, which should have been a touchdown to Brandon Cooks. He should have been a touchdown to Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks should catch it. Brandon Cooks is an all-pro receiver. Brandon Cooks should catch that football. But that ball, it was thrown low. And then I think the next play, instead of trying to high point throw to Brandon Cooks, he had Nico Collins one-on-one. Nico Collins, who's a 6'4" receiver his damn self, is one-on-one in the end zone. They was just them two. On this side of the corner, on this side of the end zone, by themselves, just them two. Just them by themselves. And he too busy staring down Brandon Cooks, throwing it high to Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks is what, 5'11", 6 foot at best? And you trying to throw a jump ball, 50-50 ball to Brandon Cooks when you have a 6'4" receiver who you can throw it up, and you want to throw it up a rebound, want to throw a 50-50 ball, throw it to him. Throw the ball up to him and allow him to bring it down. You have a better chance. That's where the ball should went to. But no, you want too much on Brandon Cooks. You want to look too much on Brandon Cooks. Like, it's absurd. He's either throwing balls too high to Nico, or he's throwing the balls too low to Brandon Cooks and Chris Conley. Like, that's what he's doing. Like, he's not accurate when it counts. I said this before. 15 yards, he could. Anything over 15 yards is shaky. And when he gets into the red zone, because it's a shorter field, he actually plays a little bit better. It's a shorter field. Another thing, the Texans keep on throwing out that boy Drip Driscoll. They keep on running out this wildcat Drip Driscoll offense and letting him run. And I'm a Marvel fan, dude. I'm a Marvel fan. And there's a thing when it comes to Marvel movies, the thing they call Easter eggs. You know, when they throw out little hints, they throw out little things that either hinting at an upcoming movie or an upcoming character that's going to appear in a future movie of the series or whatever the case, called Easter eggs. I wonder if the Texans offense, cause I asked this in the Discord, if Pep and them are throwing out Easter eggs and giving you a hint when they're out there throwing out Jeff Driscoll out there. They're throwing them out there not to see, but to show you that maybe they might favor a more mobile quarterback, because maybe they want to do other things with the offense, but they got to continue to take Davis Mills out of the offense. They got to keep taking him out of the offense because he's not that type of quarterback. So they got to keep taking him out. Now, I know people say, well, they did the same thing with Drew Brees and Peyton Hillis. Drew Brees is the only elite quarterback did they ever do that type of switching thing in when they pull a quarterback out, put another quarterback in, and they didn't do that until the end of Drew Brees' career. They weren't doing it in the beginning when Drew Brees was going to Pro Bowls and winning league. Well, I don't think Drew Brees ever won league MVP, but winning, being an All Pro and leading the league in passes. Stuff that they did this towards the end of Drew Brees' career, where his arm wasn't the same, and we don't really know if Drew Brees, year to year, Drew Brees is going to stay, because Drew Brees didn't have the same longevity as we see with Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. So, it kind of more so like Peyton Manning, with the arm is not looking the same. So, not really the same window. But for all the people out there that want to keep on harping about, like, because he don't turn the football over. He don't turn the football over. He had to, because you want to blow up last week when he throws for 240 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's very pedestrian. I want to hear that on the day where everybody balled out. Well, all the quarterbacks, they got all the red flags balled out yesterday. You got Lamar Jackson throwing for 318 yards, 3 touchdowns, rushed for 119 yards, and got a rushing touchdown as well. And the only reason why the Ravens lost is because Tua Tagovailoa ties an NFL record with 6 touchdowns. Tua had 469 yards and 6 touchdowns. 6 touchdowns! You got Kyler Murray, who comes out of nowhere. And then Wiseau, it calls him miniature quarterback. No, what does he call him? Fun size. He calls him fun size quarterback. Got that heart. His team down 23-0. He comes back and win the game. The Jets come back down by 2 touchdowns less than a minute and come back and win the game. The Dolphins, I forgot what the Dolphins score was. They came back and win the game. You got Jared Goff. Jared Goff throwing for 4 touchdowns and Lions win the game. Don't bring me Davis Mills stats. I'm sorry. And you know what else? You know how I really know that the Texans and Lovie Smith don't really trust Davis Mills? You know how I really know? Going in the halftime, second quarter, Denver has the ball. Texans are up 6-3. Texans got all 3 of their timeouts. Denver's in the red zone. It's like I said, it's under 2 minutes. And the guy commentating the game said, I wonder if the Texans gonna call any timeouts. Because if the Texans would have called timeouts and used their timeouts in that situation, that they probably could have got the ball back with a minute, 5 minute, maybe 50, 56, like in between 50 seconds and a minute and 5 seconds, somewhere in that ball frame, somewhere, just depending on how stuff playing. They would have got the ball back in somewhere in that time. No timeouts, but not down, but being the underdog on the road, and you don't get the ball back at the halftime because Denver gets the ball back. In that win, in that air, with the way the air is, not even a good quarterback, just a competent quarterback. Not a good offense, but just a competent offense. Takes their chance and take a couple shots downfield to see if they can get in the field goal range to go up 9-6 at halftime. They didn't do anything. We good and going at halftime tied at 6. We're good going to halftime tied at 6. That's what they showed you. When that happened at halftime, I thought back to myself and I was like, that's not a good sign of trusting your offense right there. That's not a good sign of trusting your offense right there. It's really not. It's not a good sign of trusting your offense. It's really not. So, like I said, Texans fall. Texans should be 2-0. The Texans should be 2-0. Really, really, the Texans should be 2-0. If the Texans had competent quarterback play, I believe the Texans are 2-0. I do. I believe the Texans are 2-0 if they have competent quarterback play. So, we'll see. We'll see if Davis Mills can find some way to improve. We'll see if he can find some way to improve. Like I said, I still got to be true to what I said, my evaluation, give him to the bye week, but it's not trending good. It's not. And if the draft was tomorrow, the Texans would be drafting a quarterback. The Texans would use one of their draft picks to be drafting a quarterback, the Texans would be drafting a quarterback. The Texans would, bad thing, Indy probably be drafting a quarterback as well because, Indy would take priority because they have a divisional loss. So Anyway, but the Texans will be drafting a quarterback if the draft was tomorrow. That's what it is, because that's the thing. The Texans would be 2-0 if they had better offense play, if they were able to score points, which they're not able to do. And this is not the '85 Bears, the 2000 Ravens, the 2002 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This defense eventually will break down if the offense doesn't give it anything. Like, subscribe if you haven't, comment below if you haven't, click that bell, get more videos. I'll holla.